welcome back to another episode of Open Spaces with Siera Vernice. It is your host, yours truly, Siera Vernice. What can I say? I'm a little, I'm a little upset because I wasn't supposed to be doing another solo episode back to back. I mean, I was going to try to do one anyway, but it wasn't really my goal. I was supposed to have some girl named Kenya on here, but we're not going to talk about it. I'm going to curse her out later. Don't you worry about it. But we're going to get right into the show. I decided to do another live stream on TikTok. So I will be starting that in 3, 2, 1. And there we go. Y'all, I just want to get into the show. So obviously for everybody who has been listening, my biggest thing when it comes to this podcast is to be intentional about sharing the word, sharing the news, and just sharing messages when it comes to being open with healing, growing, unlearning, and just learning how to ultimately be your best self. Here I go again with the stuttering and not being able to talk properly. So for all my people who are on my TikTok live, that's what the podcast is all about. And then obviously my A1 day ones who have been listening to the pod for however long y'all been listening, because this podcast has been since, when did I start this? I always say this. I think I recorded my first episode in 2020 and then I released it 2021, or I don't know if it was 2019 into 2020. I don't know. It's been a long time. We were originally Self-Expressed with Love Kills, which was my very first brand. But now we are Open Spaces because I want to be able to open the space. And I actually am looking for more TikTok, or I'm over here jumping the gun. I'm over here looking for more guests. So the people that are on TikTok, if y'all are interested in getting interviewed and, coming into the Open Spaces podcast area, then, I'm here for it. So we're going to jump right into it. This episode is going to be one where I know I'm going to go in, because this is literally the theme about everything that I talk about, everything that I live and breathe every single day, creating the life that you desire. But first, we got to get into our first segment, which is Align and Reflect. Y'all know every single week or every single solo episode that we have, I try to make sure that you guys are being intentional and making sure that the things that you are doing on a regular are in alignment with what it is that you say you want in your life. So we're going to just do some self-reflection right now. I'm going to put it out there. The question is, and of course, anybody that is joining on the TikTok live, I'm not going to be paying y'all as much attention, and I do feel bad, but this is just so y'all can kind of see my recording process, because, yeah. But if y'all want to write the question down and respond, feel free. So for everybody listening and even watching, the Align and Reflect question for this week is, where in my life am I choosing comfort over alignment? Where in my life am I choosing comfort over alignment? I can't say for me personally, with me answering this question right now, that I'm choosing comfort, because obviously I live and breathe and sleep alignment every day. I just made a video because I was recording content before I jumped on live and before I started recording the podcast. I was recording content and I had talked about how basically, like, people complain about consistency and complain about how, everybody says that if you want something great, or if you want to be able to achieve something, that you have to be consistent, and people think that it's a lie. But I am tired every single day of waking up and having to choose to be 1% better. But guess what? That's what I have to do in order to get the things that I want. So I can't say that I am choosing comfort in anything. If I had to dig a little bit deeper to say, okay, is there something, whether it's like food or activities, am I choosing comfort over alignment? I would say that it will probably be the comfortability of always feeling the need to have friends around, not necessarily all the time, because I love my alone time, but in the aspect of like going out and doing things. Like, I am trying to get back to a version of me who used to never call people, never ask them if they wanted to come out to eat, or like today, I'm not gonna lie, if I wasn't tired from the whole entire week and recording 2 days back to back, I would go out and do something later on, because my face is done, my hair is done, I'm dressed, it's nice, but I I don't have no energy, so I'm gonna choose to go in the house and eat my dinner and binge watch TV or read my books, because that's just what I feel like it. But yes, that would probably be the one thing that I would choose comfort, that I'm currently choosing comfort over alignment, is really kind of still waiting to do things with other people rather than going out and doing things myself. So nothing like super major, nothing like, super drastic, but that would be something that I feel like I'm choosing comfortability over alignment, because it does take a lot from me to transition into doing things alone all the time, then going into, okay, I'm doing everything all the time with my friends, then trying to shift back into my norm of doing things by myself. It is kind of hard. And if for anybody who feels like, oh, I'm so scared to go out alone, or I don't know how people do it, it's really not that hard. It's really not that difficult. For me personally, I have to just get over the fact that I can't be a passenger princess when I do solo dates, because I have to drive myself. Unless I want to Uber, but it's like sometimes I don't be wanting to spend a bunch of money for, for me to just have a good, nice time. So I say, if you've never been out by yourself and you want to explore, try to do something that it is that you like to do, that doesn't scare you. Like, I don't say go out and try something completely new by yourself for the first time for you going out by yourself. Just try something that it is that you do like to do with your friends, to try to do it by yourself. So out to eat, maybe go grab a drink, or even if it's something like go to the library or go to a museum, like just try it. I know for me, that's something that I will be trying to incorporate in my weekly, day-to-day, maybe monthly type of dates in the springtime and in the summer. So that's my align and reflect. Make sure that y'all answer the question as well. If you are watching on TikTok, or even if you're listening on the audio, where in my life am I choosing comfort over alignment? So that's how we start the show. I'm going to dig right into this topic because I'm looking at the time, and I do have a time limit because, again, I was supposed to start recording at 1 something, and it just didn't go the way that it was supposed to go, but whatever, we're here now. So I'm going to try to get into the meat and potatoes of the episode. So like I said, my whole brand is about creating the life that you desire, going after the things that you truthfully want. And I just felt like, what better way to end the season, because this is season 8 now. I don't know what episode this is going to end up being, because Kenya was supposed to record. So I don't know if this will technically be episode 18 or episode 19. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. Or episode 17, because I have all my episodes mapped out for the rest of the season. But this is the end of season 8. And honestly and truly, the whole theme of this season was living in alignment. So I felt like, what better way to either end the season with an episode about creating the life that you desire. So my whole brand, Life in Alignment, focuses on staying in alignment with what it is that you said that you want. Now, this could be a dream, this could be a goal, this could be a vision that you had, whether it's in your 5-year plan, whether it's in your 10-year plan, whatever, right? We have, as humans, we have the urge to say, okay, I want to be able to achieve X, Y, and Z. I want to be able to explore this country. I want to be able to, just experience life, because that's what we're here for. We're not just here to, I don't care what nobody say, we're not here to be born, grow up, get an education, work for the rest of our lives, and die and pay bills. I'm not for it. It's a greater purpose in this world than doing those basic things that, obviously we have to do to be able to maintain and live our life. But there are things that everybody in this world wants to achieve, or at least majority of people, because I ain't gonna lie, there are some people who are okay with going to work and paying bills and then just, dying. I ain't never want just that, okay? I've always wanted more. But if we're going to talk to the population that obviously listens to this podcast and obviously always strives to be better, you have something that you want to accomplish. You have a goal that you want to accomplish. You have a life envisioned a little bit, maybe not to its fullest capacity. For me, I have, and I talk about this all the time on the podcast, I have this specific vision that I've been trying to accomplish and trying to reach, and it's the vision of me, and I can't really remember at this point, because I have it so often. I don't know if it's in the form of a dream. I don't know if it's in the form of just me chilling and having some imagery happening in my mind. but it is a vision of me on a stage. And I'm kind of like in a high school auditorium, and that's just my guess. But I'm in like some type of arena or stadium or something, of that sort, where somebody would be on the stage and everybody is looking at them. And that is the one vision that, when I tell you, I cannot wait. I tell people all the time, it's going to be the TEDx talk. But listen, you ain't hear it from me. I'm waiting to get on it. I'm waiting, okay? But that's one vision that I have so clear, so vivid, and like embedded in my mind, in my head all the time. So it's like, you may have moments, or maybe you have dreams, or maybe you just, envision yourself in a certain type of life. You have to be willing and be able to figure out what it is, obviously, that you are trying to achieve, and then figure out whatever it is it's going to take for you to get to that point. So for me, like, obviously, I'm a speaker. I speak on this podcast. I speak on my social media platforms. I speak to my clients. Even when I was a business coach and I had a marketing agency, like, I was always talk, right? So I knew from that point on, when I start having that dream and start having that vision, that I was like, okay, this is what I'm supposed to do. I never knew exactly what I would be talking about, but I knew that I was in front of a crowd of people, and people were there to listen to me. They were there, and I ain't no singer, I ain't no dancer, I ain't no rapper. So I'm like, I was talking. So I'm like, okay, well, talking usually, either is having a conversation, or you're impacting somebody, or empowering somebody and inspiring somebody. So that's always been my mission, to impact, to empower, and inspire somebody in some way, shape, or form. And even when things start to come into fruition for me within the last year, it was like, okay, I'm going to transition to life coaching. Like, I love business coaching. I love being able to run a marketing agency, but I would rather put all this energy into building my own business, and my own business that is taking me closer to whatever that version of me that is on that stage. So I start to pivot and change things, and that's how I became a life coach within the last year, because I was like, you know what? Let me just start leaning into what my life really needs to be. And again, it's not always clear in the beginning. You're not always sure what it is. And sometimes you could think it's one thing and then it'd be a whole nother direction. But it's going to take you time. And obviously you're going to have to go through those trials and those errors to see what it is that you actually are destined and supposed to be doing. But obviously that's just one piece of you. That's just, what you do in your job, or what you do for your business, or what you do for your career. But you also have other parts of you that you have to kind of figure out, well, what does that life look like? So for me, I literally tell people all the time, write down what you want your life to look like. It's called vision mapping. Map out what you want, like verbatim, what you want your life to look like. 6 months ago, probably to a year ago, I said that I wanted to be freed, probably a year ago at this point. I wanted to be free from the shackles of my full-time job. It was draining. It was exhausting. I didn't have any boundaries. I didn't have any time to myself. I worked 7 days a week, hours on top of hours, worked overtime. And of course, the money was great, but did I have energy to do anything for my business? Did I have any energy to do anything for the dreams, for the goals that I set for myself? No. Of course not. And many people live like that, but it's not to say, oh, quit your job and, lean into your dreams. Obviously, we have to be smart about it. We're adults. But don't forget about the things that you are trying to accomplish, because, again, you didn't come on this earth to just be able to pay your bills and leave and die, right? You want to actually achieve things. And I'm a firm believer in, when a certain goal or a certain dream is put on your heart and in your mind, that's from God. If it keeps popping up and it's like, I really want to do this. I know people who want to create events. I know people who want to write a book. I know people who want to get on the stage and perform. I know people who really want to be the greatest designer ever. That is not coming from anywhere. Now, you have some people who get influenced by other people, but even still, that burning desire, that burning feeling of, oh, I really want to accomplish this, or even feeling like how we talked about last week, having that feeling of misery and depression and, oh, I'm not where I want to be and I'm sad. That's that same sudden urge. You want your life to be a certain kind of way, and right now it's not it. So what we need to do is we need to start creating the life that we desire. We need to start moving in the way. So 6 months to a year ago, I didn't want to be in that job, but guess what I did? I wrote it down on paper and I told myself, I said, listen, I It's scary right now. I'm obviously working 7 days a week. I'm making good money. I'm paying my bills. I'm doing all that I need to do. I'm being able to go out every now and then, spend my money, turn back around. I ain't got no money. I'm trying to figure out how this is happening, but I'm working 7 days a week, and it's just like a constant rabbit hole, going in a circle, going in a circle, doing the same things. At what point are my goals or my dreams going to come into fruition if I keep living the same cycle over and over again? So I start to contemplate and still kind of lean into that. All right, I'm tired of being depressed. I'm tired of being sad. I'm tired of being, living paycheck to paycheck. So let me start figuring out this business thing. Created the business, but didn't really act on it. I came up with the name, I filed all the paperwork, well, at least like maybe some of the paperwork, and then I, was like, oh, okay, I got a brand. And I probably even popped up in the podcast like, hey, y'all, I created a business, and da-da-da. Like, just being hyped, but still wasn't ready because I still wasn't ready to move on from my job. I still wasn't able to be disciplined in what it is that I was trying to be disciplined in. So it was really like, here I am, same cycle over again, until one day I was just like, you know what? You get that feeling, you wake up and you just be like, you know what? I don't want to do this shit no more. I wrote out a plan in my notebook, and I told myself, I said, listen, you got 6 months to exit. Even if you don't leave completely, you can step down, you can, because the job that I was in, and I actually still work there. I just don't work there as much because I don't need to, thank God. But the position I was in a manager position, so I was able to step down to an entry-level employee, and then I could even step down a little bit lower, which is where I'm at now, to just being on call. So like, if somebody needs me, I'll pop up if I'm available. Emphasis on the if I'm available. Okay. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna make that plan, but I also still need to make sure I'm gonna have to be able to pay my bills, right? At the end of the day, cool. I think I decided to be like, all right, I'm just going to do it. I sent the letter. I stepped down. Everything happened so fast. Boom, 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 boom. And then I turned around. I was like, I should never did that. Like, acting like it was like an impulsive decision, as if I didn't plan it out, as if I wasn't already irritated. And I was just starting to second guess, doubt myself. Be like, okay, this shit ain't going to work. Like, I need something. So then, of course, start to let that self-doubt creep in. And then once I looked up, I'm like, this is literally what you asked for. You asked to be in a position to wake up and have a slow morning and be able to spend time with your son in the morning and be able to take him and not have to rush to a job and be at somebody's begging feet, like right there as soon as the top of the morning, 8:30, 9 a.m. And now that you are actually able to have slow mornings, you're questioning it. What's going on there? Right? So then I had to reel myself back in again. And this is the thing, when it comes to creating the life that you desire, you're going to go through so many different phases of, am I doing the right thing? Did I make the right decision?